guys? Welcome back to yet another edition of Native MMA Radio. A little different this time. I got Aldrich here with us from the Fight Dialogue. Thankfully, stepping in for Waleed. Waleed is a little busy this week. He's got to do some tests, but he'll be here for that Connor and Dustin breakdown later on in the week. Right now, we got some important matters to discuss. We have the Max Holloway versus Calvin Kattar main event from this last weekend. Phenomenal performance from Max, man. Crazy output. What did you think about his entire performance? 445 significant strikes, man. Crazy.
Man, listen, the output, you threw over 700 strikes. First and foremost, the way he started off, because Max is normally like a little sort of a slow start, and he paced himself. This man came out the gate like he was possessed, like a bat out of hell, and just rained down. When I saw me and you were talking during the fight, actually, I saw like 20-something, 30 punches to like 14 there. I thought, all right, cool, still early. But the way he
super early.
And then he just kept pouring it on. And it was the elbows. We never see Max really throw elbows. He started throwing those elbow shots.
The way he was able to do it too, and the angles he was hitting on those were just phenomenal.
And then working the body, his famous spinning back kick, which he should utilize more because that thing is lethal. Like that spinning back kick he has is lethal. And then for me, the cream of the crop was when he did the no look punch, looking at the commentary table talking about I'm the best boxer, bow, and then still evades, looking like Muhammad Ali. Oh man, that was just freaking amazing.
The most miraculous stat of them all, in my opinion, is if you look at what Max Holloway was able to do, and you look at every other fighter on the entire main card, collectively, he outstruck them in significant strikes by 114 strikes. That would also be the second biggest total of the main card.
Damn.
Just the difference.
Huge difference.
That's crazy, man. 100, and I'm talking about every single fighter. Carlos Condit, Calvin Kattar, Li Jingliang. Obviously, that was, super quick. Joaquin Buckley, all those guys. Add them all together. Max Holloway outperformed every single one of them by 114 strikes.
Damn, that is a huge differential. I mean, he looked good. The way he was working the 3 and the 2 and then to the body, it was just like amazing. He utilized it so well.
I want to get back to that in a second. We'll go over that at the end real quick. But I want to jump in the beginning of the card real quick. Austin Ligo came out, got a very nice victory against Jacob Kilburn, who we had on the show last week. I thought for sure Austin Ligo won at least the first 2 rounds, maybe even the third round. I thought he controlled the fight very well. And every time Jacob Kilburn was able to get him down, Austin just popped right back up.
Almost definitely. I had to rewatch it because I did miss the beginning of the prelims because I had training, but I did watch it. I totally wholeheartedly agree with you on that one. Like, he did have the moments, but he held his own for sure.
Yeah, like he had a couple moments. Kilburn. He had the very nice spinning back fist. But he's a tough kid, okay, and he's hard to put out. And I feel like that might be the worst thing for him because that dude's gonna have some problems later in life.
Almost definitely.
Now, Vanessa Melo, I believe, got her very first UFC win against Sarah Morris here. People said it was a controversial decision. She outstruck Morris 56-45. I thought Vanessa Melo won the fight. I was pulling for Melo. Obviously, her and I have had back and forth a bunch. I enjoy her fighting style, what she's able to bring. She's very well-rounded, and I thought we were able to see more of that in this fight.
Oh yeah, that fight for me it was like a slow pace, but
for sure.
But you saw like it was some hesitance between the two ladies, like some more like on Sarah's side. I was like, okay, you're pushing out, but it's like not much strikes were landed. Like it was looking to more like it was technical, but it's like you're trying to time your shots. But I do agree with the decision. Even Sarah didn't agree with it. Her facial expression was
super bad.
Was turned into a whole meme, by the way. Not surprised.
But just to point out some stats for you guys, in every single round, Vanessa Melo outstruck Sarah Morris when it comes to significant strikes. Sarah Morris had the most significant strikes in leg kicks, where Vanessa Melo had more strikes to the head. I feel like, obviously, that's a huge, big disparity, especially when you talk about Sarah Morris's output was 56% leg kicks.
Damn.
You can't be upset when you've thrown most of your shots to the lower part of her body.
Oh, yeah, leg kicks, I feel like have become more popular in
Yes,
modern
for
day
sure.
MMA. Not saying that they weren't popular before, but you see a lot, especially the low calf kick. Everyone's
Mhm.
utilizing their arsenal.
Well, people have been able to put people out with that low calf kick. Like I've
Yeah,
been hit with one in training, and I couldn't fucking walk right for like a month almost. I was like, God damn, bro, what did you do to my knee?
exactly. I've been hit with one before too. Like, I mean, I do got some big legs, but you do feel like the after effects. Like, okay, why is like back of my shin,
Listen, I
like
got
my
some chicken
calves?
legs, all right.
Hey, John Jones got chicken legs. He made it work. I don't hear
You know what I'm
excuses.
saying? You know what I'm saying? I like it. Now, the other fight, super controversial, Ramazan Eviv took out David Zawada. Back and forth fight. When you look at the whole thing, each guy had a round of significant strikes. Emeev, though, had the very dominant first round, and I thought that, having to come back from that, obviously, second round, super close. You could have went either way, and then
Mhm.
I thought Zawada got that last round. But to me, I feel like Emeev has some holes in his game, and I feel like other people in that division are going to exploit it. Like welterweight's no joke,
Oh, it's not at all. Like,
and I get it. There, people have high hopes on Evie. Like he's been, talked about for a while now. I believe he's only lost once since being in the UFC. He's won 5 other fights. He's a dominant fighter, but I really feel like he showed some weaknesses.
oh yeah, most definitely agree, man. Yeah, like I said, that fight was pretty much close. Zawada definitely had that rough outing in the first round, and it was close. I'm like, he did edge out. It was
It was a takedown. You know what I mean? I mean, he's
yeah.
great at doing that, and that's most of his game. And you have to understand that a little bit going into it. That's where I feel like Khabib gets a lot of respect. You know what I mean? A lot of guys, you see them with their hands down when they fight him. Same thing
Mhm.
with Ameev, but I just feel like Zawada wasn't playing into that game.
Yeah, most
Obviously,
definitely.
why he was able to get those 4 takedowns.
I feel agree with that one. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen.
No, 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 you're all good, man. Ali Al just fucking came back from practice, so we do appreciate him. And it's super late out there, man. Next fight, honestly, could have been fight of the night, but Max Holloway and Calvin Kattar decided to put on a huge performance. But Carlos Felipe versus Justin Tafa, man, great fight, split decision win for Felipe. How did you see that one coming out as soon as they got done with it?
This is another one that was controversial. Here's why, because correct on the split decision.
Mm-hmm.
I even said this. It wasn't a robbery, but I gave it to Justin Tafa. Here's why. Justin Tafa had the first round.
Yeah, for sure.
Felipe definitely kicked up second round. I feel like in the third, Tafa did a little bit more. It was close, but Tafa did put a little more output and he did more of an impact because when they had that little brawl session, he landed the most strikes. Um, it was moments Philippe did control him against the cage, but it wasn't much. He didn't really advance position. Like I said,
Yeah,
it was it.
in the terms of total strikes, it was Tafa 49, Philippe 33 in that third round. So definitely, proving to your point, Tafa did turn it on.
Yeah, he did. So I mean, like I say, the split decision was correct, but as far as going to Philippe, I didn't agree with it. Tafa definitely did more, and he won that fight. Like I said, it wasn't robbery, but it was like a lot of people even said so. It was like Tafa did more. He did more.
Yeah, I do want to point out though, Philippe is got some gnarly body shots, man. I mean,
Mm.
received some by Tafa. Tafa, I feel like there was one point in the fight where he decided he was going to shoot for a takedown. He could have just finished him had he hit him with a couple more body shots.
Yeah, that's when he rocked him as well too, and I was like, okay, damn, like he might have caught Tafa, but he had the moment to like regain
Right.
and everything like that to recuperate.
This young lady I was super impressed with, Jocelyn Edwards, makes her UFC debut, goes out against Wu Yayan and puts on a performance. Outstrikes her 88-58, man. Huge submission from the bottom too as well. I love everything about what she brings to that bantamweight division, and I would be interested to see who they give her next.
Oh yeah, for sure, that was a nice fight.
She
You
got
know,
better as the fight went on.
she did, and to the people and there's fans out there that don't like it when it goes to the ground, this fight was very exciting on the ground more
Oh
than on
yeah.
the feet. because like you said, what was it? First of all, she's like what one of the first or the first person from Panamanian MMA fighter.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, I could
huge.
be wrong. That is
Yeah,
huge.
Panama.
Like from Panama, like you got the Hawaiians, you got Chinese, you got everything, but from Panama. So she was the first from her
All I
country.
knew that they had down there was a canal. I didn't even know they had fighters.
That the same thing here. But she looked good when they got to the ground. It was a takedown, and when she was setting up that arm bar, it was
That was
so
clean.
smooth. It was clean, and you saw what was her name? What was it? Wu Yan?
Uyana.
Wu Yana.
Yanin.
And, Yanin. And you saw like she kept readjusting the grip, but you saw it break. I'm like, yo, she's gonna get this arm bar.
I thought she was gonna get it too.
And one thing people need to realize when it comes to jiu-jitsu, women got the advantage because they're more flexible, so they could hold on to a submission attempt longer than guys. It's very true. It's proven fact.
Yes.
But the way she capitalized off the ground and like the transitions, the what's the damn thing? Not switch kick. The reversals and everything like that. And can we talk about that up donkey kick double feet? Like she got hit to the
Hell
ground just
yeah,
and wham.
bro. I like that. I'm surprised more people don't throw the up kicks with just both feet in literally. Because I mean, you've seen people land those up kicks and have had dangerous success with it. Most
Tony
of the time,
Ferguson.
probably like 85% of the time, dudes go to sleep. I feel like more people should throw that double up kick though, man. I liked her creativity on that one.
Oh yeah, she was good. She was on her back, but she was active.
Yeah,
So
when we were coming into this week, I was like, that's the featured prelim. Kind of weird. But afterwards, I was like, you know what? That was a great fucking fight.
it was. I don't know if you saw it, but it was really supposed to be Philip Hawes and
Yeah.
one of the guys from Paris. I don't remember his name, but Philip Hawes wasn't
Philip Boss
medically
came back.
cleared,
Yeah.
and it wasn't because of COVID related. It was something medical wise. I had to look more into that
That's
story.
scary.
Yeah, they said it wasn't COVID related. Like he passed all his tests. It was something like I think that the
Like a
commission
brain
didn't
scan or
clear him.
something.
It's something to do with the athletic commission. They said that he wasn't medically cleared.
We'll have to
And
look
last
into
I,
that for sure.
yeah,
Craziness. I can't believe. I knew that they pulled him from the card, but I didn't know it was because of something like unknown medical reason. I like
yeah.
Philip Bro too. He's a good kid.
Hmm.
You know who else do I really like?
Cool.
Juliana Soriano. That dude went in there and knocked out Dusko Todorovic like a fuck. Oh my gosh, man. When I seen him do, I was like, man, did he steal lunch money from you? Why are you so mad at him for, bro? You keep hitting him for. Juliana Soriano is a bad, bad man. It took 30 beautifully timed strikes to put Dusko asleep and take that O.
Yeah, man. I made a post on a fight dialogue about don't piss off Hawaiians.
Right.
Cause man, Puna,
They got so many
'cause
cousins too. You be fucked up, bro.
that's
You have
true.
to fight one of them.
Because I was speaking with his coach Eric, Eric Nixick, earlier. Me did an interview, and he was telling me about the Hawaiian fighters. You know, we hear everybody about different markets, America and all that stuff. I feel like in Extreme Couture, they really tapped into that Hawaiian market. And Puna, he had to lay off because he had injuries, nagging
They got
injuries.
Ige down there as well.
Yeah, Tavares, Maki Patolo, all those guys.
Coco
And
Bombs.
yeah, and it's
Hey, that's
like
weird because Julian Marquez trained at Extreme for a while, and Coco Bombs also. I wonder how they've worked that out.
that's very true. That's very intrigued by that. But Puna did his thing. He didn't miss a
Beautiful,
beat
man.
because this is his second fight in the UFC. His last one was KO. But you had the power and the impact in those
Oh my
punches.
God.
And
And
what
when
was
you
old?
look at him, sorry, go.
And what was his opponent's name again? Because
Dusko Torovic.
Tarovich. His saving grace was the damn mouthpiece getting stuck in the middle of it.
You're right, bro. Listen, and my son's like, "What is happening?" And I was like, "Hey, listen, it's not that weird. It actually happened before. That shit fell down. We're used to it at this time. You guys can't fucking play us anymore, okay? Last time you guys caught us by surprise. This time we're on top of it."
Mm-hmm.
But listen, Puna Puna Soriano is possibly one of the heaviest hitting 185ers in the UFC right now. I would be interested to see him. I wanted to see him against Buckley. Buckley lost, obviously, to Alexio Chirico. So I think that's the next fight that you set up.
Oh yeah, for sure. And another thing is though, here's the thing that's weird, right? He's a 185er, and two of his other teammates 85ers, Maki Pitolo and Tavares, who's fighting this upcoming weekend. They're all in the same division, so I mean, of course they're not gonna fight each other, but it's like it's good you seeing that. And of course, I agree with you. I think
I
him
think
and Buckley should throw
Magny
down.
should be a 70.
True that, but he said that weight cut was too tough for him. So I mean, I'd like to see Maki and Buckley, but Puna and Buckley would be a good fight too. I think
I'm
that's the
down.
next one.
Buckley unfortunately just got knocked the fuck out by Alexio Jericho.
Which was the fight
Crazy,
after.
crazy, man. Especially all the hype coming into it that Joaquin Buckley had, the huge
Mhm.
knockout of the year against Kepa, and then goes in and then has a huge performance against Jordan Wright in his last fight. Coming
Mhm.
in this fight, everyone thought it was an easy win for him. Alexio Jericho, I believe, lost 3 fights in a row before this fight.
Yeah.
But obviously, Alessio decided to prove us all wrong, and he decided to Buckley and hit him with that head kick.
Thanks.
Listen, most interesting thing though, dude came to the back when they do, the press conferences, and
Mm.
he was like, "Listen, I'm not doing this. You guys don't interview the winners and the losers. I'm done here. Appreciate you guys, but I'm not doing this."
Yeah, he even did that with Anik as well too. I was like, Okay, I see what you're doing, but I was like, not especially on ABC Network. This
I
was
don't
a
think
big hit
that's
for MMA.
the best time to be doing that.
Yeah, especially when you're debuting on ABC Network, which hasn't held a combat sport since when Tyson last fought? That was early 2000.
A long time.
So, so I was
I think
like,
the
man,
last time Tyson fought was like a couple months ago, which is strange to say, but yeah.
I know, right? That's still so weird to say.
Crazy, man. I think Ditch Kirko just took all that Buckley hype and now he's going to transition it into his own. I like to see Puna and Holy Soriano. I think it makes the biggest sense. Those two already lined up. Put those two together. Let's get Puna some more W's and eventually on his way to that middleweight elite.
Man, a fight we want to see between Buckley and freaking James Krause. Make that fight happen, all
Oh,
right?
for sure. Listen, and I just want to see the hype. I don't even really give a fuck about the fight, kid. Give me a press conference too. I want a
Mm,
press conference, a bunch of embeddeds, all this shit, okay? I just want to hear these two talking shit.
for sure.
Li Jing Liang, man, came out, put a huge statement on a returning Santiago Ponzinibbio, who was looking like he was going to be a contender in the welterweight division, arguably the number one contender with a win over Li Jing Liang. Obviously, the long layoff, but the huge winning streak is hard to ignore. Li Jing Liang said, "Hey, don't look past me," and decided to knock out Santiago Ponzinibbio in the first round, really propelling himself in the welterweight rankings.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. This was his first fight back where he had a year or 2 year layoff, if I'm not mistaken, because of injuries.
Yes.
So I mean, like you said, he was a contender in person. His last,
Last fight was in 2018 in November against Neil Magny.
which he TKO'd in the fourth round, who's headlining this Wednesday's card. And you saw that he looked out of it because the octagon rust, the ring rust, like
Mm-hmm.
he hasn't fought in a minute. Of course, he's like
Shit's
getting
real.
comfortable. It is real. I mean, not for Dominic Cruz, of course.
Well, he's
Um,
a specimen, man.
but you saw that he was trying to find his footing out there. Had some good exchanges. I'm surprised he didn't take this to the ground because, as we saw in Lin
Right.
Jinglian's fight against Neil Magny, who he lost against, the ground was his weak point. So I'm surprised Ponzinibbio didn't decide to go to the ground, which he's versatile on as well. And the exchange, and then Jing Lian called him with that. It was a left hook and slept him, and it was like, damn, that
Over.
was good night, Irene.
Because that's all she wrote. That's all she needed to write. Now, I want to talk about this next fight. Matt Brown's still upset over it. I've been hearing him all week on Instagram and Facebook and everything. Just been
Mm.
mad. Obviously, Matt Brown, I think he's just always going to be mad at this point. I don't really understand it, though. In my opinion, I feel like Carlos Condit won the fight by unanimous decision. He's really upset by the 30-27 scorecards. But if you break it down round by round, really Carlos Condit won every single round. The only one that you could really put in question would be the very first round. The second round was clearly Condit, and the third round also was clearly Condit. I see where people are saying 30-27. I could see maybe a 29-28, but it would be interesting. I don't think that Carlos Condit did it, or Matt Brown did enough to be arguing. I think he should be more mad at his performance than anything, really.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there, but respectfully, of course, for how I see it was, Condit definitely won that fight. I see Matt Brown's argument as far as the first round. And he even said those in himself, like, as far as the first round, I give it to Matt Brown. I mean, because he definitely dominated the majority of that round before like the last minute that Condit got the reversal and did work. But I give it to him. Like, clearly, Brown won that first round, Condit second round, the third round too. Matt Brown even said so. Like, if it came out to the
I
third round,
enjoy watching Matt Brown too, and I just feel like,
Mhm.
like I don't know. I think we feel like we're just mad at something right now, just being mad. Like we're just talking about sour grapes.
For sure, but Matt Brown even said so. Like, if it came down to the third round, which I eventually lost, I'm not mad about it. But to say that he lost all three rounds, no. The last two rounds, kind of without a doubt. Like, he did more
For sure.
output. But the first round, I mean, I see his debate because it is clear. Like, he did more in that first round. He dominated that first round.
Yeah, it was an interesting fight to say the least. I
Hmm.
definitely, I'd like to see them run it back again. You could actually just have them run it back two more times. I know it's a little late in their career, but I feel like these guys should have had a trilogy somewhere down the line.
They should have. It just got lost in the loop.
For
Condit
sure.
was Condit was more at the time when they both were fighting. Condit was already in the upper echelon. He was in the
Mhm.
elites of the
Well, but like even
welterweights.
coming up at WFC, you would think that back then they
Mhm.
would have had a fight at least.
For sure.
Same
I told.
division. Matt Brown was doing really good there. I believe he was on like a 5-fight win streak until he came to the UFC and lost, I believe, his first or second fight.
Hmm. I mean, this fight, if they have him back in their early days of primes, oh yeah, trilogy fight. This would have been a war. Like,
Right.
this would have been a top, one of the top five, top 10 moments as far as MMA rivalries, without a doubt.
For sure, 100%. Another one I think we might see one day again is Calvin Kattar versus Max Holloway. Although the first one was completely one-sided, and there is no doubt in my mind that outside of Brian Ortega, Max Holloway is the most deserving person for a title shot, no matter who the champion is. I feel like you and I also talked about this earlier. If Ortega wins, obviously Max right away title shot.
Hmm.
Even if it's a close fight with Volkanovski, I still see Max getting the title shot. But if Volkanovski wins, I feel like Max is going to have to pull off one more. For you, do you think Max would have to pull off one more if Volkanovski wins, or do you think that he's done enough with the Calvin Kattar fight to go ahead and earn himself a title shot and a possible trilogy with the champion Alexander Volkanovski?
Well, in moments like this, because, when it comes to like trilogy fights, of course, it's 1-1, but this is a situation where first one, all right, cool, clear. Second one, most controversial to this date.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, After a okay, the performance alone, I think we all can agree, some may disagree. Single-handedly the best performance by MMA fighter I've ever seen in this decade, alone in the company of the MMA. That performance
For
with
sure.
a with a exquisite performance.
141 total strikes in the fourth round. Like that's unheard of.
Yeah, somebody explain to me how the hell you land 80 damn strikes in the fourth round. That was a 10-7, by the way. That was a 10-7. Not a 10-8. I think it was 10-7. But
Oh, no,
a
no.
perform
For sure, judges scored it 10-7 because there is a 42-50.
yeah. So to the point where, as you were saying, after a performance like that, an astounding performance like that, how can you not give a man a title shot like that? I get it, the whole Volkanovski thing. If it was 1-1, that's a different story. But of course, um, I feel like if Volkanovski retains his title against Ortega, Max should get a title shot. But if he has to fight one more, so be it. He puts out another performance like that, it's no denying it.
Yeah.
Ortega pulls off the upset. Oh yeah, immediate rematch. I mean, everybody wants to see Ortega and Holloway too. I mean,
Mhm.
look what Max did to him in the first fight. He,
Yeah. And
I,
Max looks better. In
yeah,
my opinion, Max looks the best he's ever looked.
he's looked the best. Yeah, I totally agree with you. And you saw he did to Ortega the first time. He decimated
Mhm.
him. But what he did
Oh,
to
he did
Calvin,
an entire striking class in the middle of it.
for sure, what he did to Calvin Kattar was just capital murder.
100%. Listen, Abu Dhabi is looking for that man right now. And they legit, he killed him. And the one thing, like I said, 140 total strikes in one round. That's more than anyone else has thrown on this entire card. Like, think about that. Max Holloway in one round did more than everybody else did in their entire fights that night.
That's insane, man. That's insane.
The closest one was his opponent. There wasn't a closer guy. Austin Lingo 95 was the next one.
I feel like as far as the state of the featherweight division, because Ortega is a different fighter now. We saw against Zombie, so
For
of
sure.
course, if him and Max was to run it back, it would be a different fight. But I think it'll probably be the same result. Now, there's one person who wants to fight Max Holloway. Me and you were talking about, oh, him and uh, what's his
I
name,
said Zabit.
Zabit.
Yeah, I was
Zabit.
super interested in that one. But
I,
the young man who you're about to say, I'm for sure interested in this one.
who do you think I'm gonna say?
Yeah, you're Rodriguez.
No, honestly,
Really?
no. Korean Zombie wants to fight Max Holloway next.
I'm interested in that one too. That imagine that fight, man. Korean Zombie's a beast. I feel like he definitely has the chin to. I just listen. If that's what Calvin Cater got beat up like, I feel like Zombie's gonna get beat up similar. I feel bad for some of these guys, man. I wouldn't want to face Max right now. He's 29, which is the most craziest thing when you think about it. Because if you look at it, we've seen him already for 10 years. He's 29
Hmm.
years old. The sky's the limit for him.
Yeah, this man was a champion before. He's just not entering his prime.
Yeah,
He was a champion before his prime. So now that he's in his prime and is at this level, it's even more scarier. Because like you said, after that performance, I'm surprised Zombie won. I mean, Korean Zombie, another heavy hitter as well too.
right.
But Masters prove, heavy hitter or not,
I'm gonna take you out
I'm taking you out. I'm
dirty.
coming for blood. And Zabit and Max would be a good fight. But let's be
Yeah, but
real.
Zabit doesn't get past the third round. His
Yeah,
cardio is not what it's at. He cannot
exactly.
keep up with that output.
Exactly. Especially Max starts off that fast.
Oh
First
my
two rounds,
gosh, bro.
Zabit,
I thought
Zabit
Max was gonna
USA.
start off slow. Like the first 30 seconds, I was like, oh, whoa, what the fuck is he doing? But then like after that, bro, he was on it. And I think the biggest and most important thing is he's not throwing one or two shots. Max Holloway is throwing 4 or 5 punch combinations.
Yeah, that's insane. And keeping that pace over 5 rounds and not getting tired is a true
Crazy.
testament. And you know, Zabit would not really withstand that. Yeah, hey, Rodriguez are all people who should be talking about. I'm not impressed with your no fight having ass. Max would decimate you as well too.
100%. Outside of Max Holloway, for you, give me 3 names who really, shined in this event.
In this event, outside Max Holloway, of course, Punahele Soriano. Um,
Beautiful
uh,
knockout.
I mean, definitely like you can't just say that without that. The bounce back with Li Jing Liang, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
That
Beautiful
was
strikes, man. The precision that he had on it, he literally hit Santiago on the button.
he really did, and sky's the limit for him, because UFC's tapping into that to the
The
Chinese
Asian
market
market,
a lot with these
yes.
fighters, in the Asian market especially. And the third, what's her name from Panama?
Oh, you're talking about Jocelyn Edwards.
Yeah, Jocelyn Edwards, she did her thing too in her first fight in the UFC. She looked good. So those are the three people I give.
Hell yeah. Alexia Disicaro, I feel like is an honorable mention. Austin Lingo did well too. Like I said, Carlos Felipe versus Justin Taffa would have been the fight of the night for me had Max Holloway and Calvin Kattar not put on such a great performance.
I called that, by the way. I said it too. I said so. On the last episode on Fight Dialogue, I said this is fight of the night, and I called it.
The Fight Dialogue, which you can catch on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, everywhere that you can catch beautiful shows like these.
Oh, I appreciate you, brother. Make sure y'all check out Native MMA Radio. They got great episodes recapping, exquisite interviews that put the emphasis on the exquisite interviews, all right? Because, man, interviews is amazing. There was one more thing I was about to say. I forgot. Shit. I lost my train of thought. Come back to me. All right, I lost it. I lost it.
It'll come back to us. Anything else on UFC on ABC 1?
Oh man, great way. It was a great moment for the sport of MMA. Usually boxing had that, and the Super Bowl even aired on ABC. So the fact that the UFC, MMA in general, got a platform on ABC, American Broadcasting Network, the longest network in television history. It was a true testament of how great the sport's going, and it was a great moment for all of MMA fans. Yeah, and the thing came back to me just now. Max Holloway just put in front runner for Fight of the Year already.
Quote me on 100%. What was it? January 16th, the very first main event of the year could arguably, it for sure, not arguably, is a contender for Fight of the Year.
Yeah, it's true as well.
All right, guys. Well, that is going to be it for our UFC on ABC 1 recap. If you check our other video out, me and Ali Al are going to break down this Wednesday's card. Neil Magny, Michael Sieska. Excited about that one. That's going to be an early start time again. I believe it was like 6 a.m. for us on the West Coast, 10 a.m. for you guys on the East Coast. But yeah, stick to it. Yep. We'll be right back, knuckleheads.